Halo is legendary because it's cool. To understand what made Halo iconic, we need only look at Microsoft's competitor, Sony, who dominated the market with the PS2, and to say they had a head start was putting it mildly. Dark Cloud, Twisted Metal Black, Time Splitters, Klonoa 2, Silent Hill 2, Ico, Devil May Cry, GTA 3, and just days before Halo's debut, they released Metal Gear Solid 2, and that next month they would release Jak and Daxter, and their most iconic game on the system, Final Fantasy X. Sony already had an expansive library that was so good they ran Sega out of business. Safe to say, if Halo wasn't anything short of a masterpiece, Microsoft and the Xbox were going to be on very thin ice. But Halo wasn't a masterpiece. It was something better.
That's a 10.
What made it iconic was in the name Combat Evolved. Before Halo, first-person shooters were mainly a PC thing. We got the greats at the time: Half-Life, Deus Ex, System Shock 2, Quake, Doom. There were FPS games on consoles too. However, comparing the two would be an insult to the PC master race. The most popular console shooter being GoldenEye, made by Rare on the N64, and it had the honor of just existing. It had this hard lock aiming feature which made it work on that abomination of controller. However, Bungie wanted something different. They wanted to convert the PC experience to consoles, making it a seamless transition. And they gave the honor of making this historic transition to lead designer John Howard, who absolutely hated the idea of making a traditional PC FPS on a console, especially on the bulky Duke. Like, damn dude, that shit is an eighth as wide as your mama's thighs. But it's good to have your biggest critic doing this job, since those are the guys who will work on it until it's perfect. So unlike the hard lock aiming GoldenEye used, Halo used frictional aiming and bullet magnetism. With frictional aiming, the reticle would begin to slow down as it inched towards an enemy, then speed back up as you passed it. And bullet magnetism gave the player a bit of leeway when hitting its target. Imagine if your sights were close to an enemy, the reticle itself would grow larger and slow down without the player even noticing, and a lot of developers used this concept in future titles. Today we have hundreds of shooters on both consoles and PCs, but we wouldn't have had this diversification if Bungie hadn't shown these tools to other developers. But this isn't what Halo is known for influencing. In the olden days of the 90s, first-person shooters used health packs to stay alive in combat, but it's hard to find some when you have an alien shoving a shotgun up your colon. But with Halo came a solution. Regenerating health. With this, health packs became less of a factor, as all you had to do was escape the firefight for a short time to let your shields regenerate, and voila, you're back in the fight, ready to show that alien what a real prostate exam is like. This concept revolutionized how difficulty and level design could be reformed in every FPS game following Halo, for better or for worse. It's only been recent that health bars in these games have been showing up again. Combat in games was quite literally evolving, but what these developers couldn't copy were Halo's enemies. 20 years later, the Covenant still have some of the most entertaining AI in gaming, which I don't know if today's developers are just lazy or if Bungie was just ahead of their time. Yeah, it's the former. They constantly dart around, forcing you out of areas and fire sporadically to keep your mind and hands moving. If you throw a grenade, they'll dodge it. If you land a sticky on elite, they'll start running at you. But if you throw it at a grunt, they'll run towards their comrades in an act of desperation. And these grunts, which are the Goombas of Halo, who if they kill you, even on Legendary, everyone has the right to point and laugh at you like the noob you are. You got the Jackals, who are like grunts, except they're more annoying. Then you have Elites, where a lot of your strategy revolves around taking them out as soon as possible, and changing the difficulty changes the armor color of the Elites you fight. That's it. Oh, and they're also hard as dicks at a strip club on Legendary. Got him! What?!
Worth it.
Then you have the Flood, who are honestly pretty easy, except for these stupid fucking rocket floods. Kill them as soon as you see them. Oh, and then you have the Hunters, who are the easiest enemy in the game. When Halo transformed into an FPS after being bought by Microsoft, it only had assets, ideas, and giant 3D maps, but no actual structure. Within the 1 year of being bought, Bungie was scrambling to make an actual game. It was reusing almost half of their maps, specifically the levels Truth and Reconciliation and Keys, and the guiltier party Assault on the Control Room and 2 Betrayals, which is literally the same level played backwards. It was so confusing Bungie had to put in arrows on the floor to show where you were going. But I don't think it's as bad as the worst level in the entire Halo franchise. The Library. Imagine this. You just got done with one of the best levels in the game, 343 Guilty Spark. After your first encounter with the Flood, you teleport away to this ancient alien data center to retrieve a key. Still, to get to it, you must combat thousands of infinitely spawning Flood creatures as you go through the same room over and over and over. The level lasts an hour and a half, or do what my friend and I did and get glitched on a stupid checkpoint that kept killing us on one of the final elevators. It was like the gates of heaven opening to me. I could feel the warmth of the sun kissing me on my face, only to be pushed off from the final stair into a pit of despair, destined to relive the same horrors day in and day out. Until we got bored and left the level, but still, the fuck? But I'm willing to forgive this game of anything because it has something special. A kick-ass, iconic soundtrack. Marty Fat Daddy O'Donnell here created one of the most iconic soundtracks, period. And he was only given 3 words to work with. Epic, ancient, aliens. From there, he was driving in his car and started thinking to himself, well, monks are pretty ancient. And so when he arrived for work the next day, he got in the recording booth and sang the most iconic 21st century video game theme. And that's just one banger. When you step outside and see Halo for the first time, you're given a few seconds to soak it all in, and then you hear those high notes piercing in. It just adds to the atmosphere, which is what this game does so damn well. Builds some fantastic atmosphere. I'm from the perspective that not all good games need good music, but all great games must have great music, as they are essential for building atmosphere, culminating with the finale. You just finished destroying the Pillar of Autumn's reactor and are now trying to leave Halo. You run into the hangar bay, grab a warthog, and begin driving down this insane obstacle course while being timed, seeing all these factions fighting against each other, and then the music comes in. You're swelling up with this epic vigor, and when you reach the end, you lean back in your chair, take off your headphones, breathe a deep sigh of relief, and just mouth, "That was awesome." I think what I've always liked most about playing Halo was that I got to play with my friend.
I just went through this tree. I'm about to die.
And although trying to schedule with each other online was the most annoying part, it was still fun. A game that's almost 20 years old now can still bring a smile to not only a person that has been playing these games for years, but to someone who just started.
I fucking hate you.
And I could go on and on about this game, the multiplayer and how that influenced the sequel, which influenced the entire industry. My time watching Red vs. Blue, or the hours I watched my cousins play this game while they told me to sit and watch. fucking assholes! Halo stands among the greats and should be used to study under for future designers on how to set atmosphere and make the player feel excitement and tension. There are only a few games that did it as well as Halo, and most of them play well. Like shit! At least compared to modern games. And you know what I call games like Halo that stand the test of time? Legendary. Hey guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. I wanted to apologize for taking so long and this huge long hiatus I took. I have no intention of abandoning this channel. I just wanted some time to figure out how I can improve this channel for the future, as well as get some scripts ready for future videos. If you guys like this video, then please like and subscribe. Let's try to get this video to 20 likes and I'll release a highlight reel from me and my friend Flotsam's live Twitch live stream. Yeah. This link will be in the description down below. I hope I entertained and inspired you all. Have a nice day.